Hey guys, it's Genevieve. Welcome to or back to my channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, and if you're not new, you already know that I love you, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. So one of the main topics on my YouTube channel is veganism, and I really want to provide you guys with lots of information and hopefully also inspiration so that you guys can maybe go vegan yourselves or just learn to incorporate some more plant-based options into your lifestyle. So today's video is going to be my top 10 tips on how to make going vegan as easy as possible. So my first tip is to eat according to your area and eat seasonally. What this means is in the vegan community, you can see tons of elaborate what I eat in a days where people are eating tons of this like vibrant, fresh, tropical fruit, produce that they got from the farmer's market down the street, like all of that kind of stuff. To be honest, that is just not realistic to everyone. There's a lot of areas in the world where you cannot get fresh tropical fruit. And even if you can, it either doesn't taste very good or it's super expensive, or both. Where I live in Canada, I choose to eat things like apples, citrus fruits, berries, things like kale, spinach, Swiss chard, stuff like that that can grow here quite easily, or at least it's very accessible. Like things like bananas, obviously we can't grow in Canada, but they're very readily available and they're not expensive at all here. And also I should add that frozen produce is a great option as well. Don't feel like you can't go vegan because you can't eat tropical fruits all the time. You can totally go vegan with whatever produce you can get, and if you have a farmer's market, you can get stuff for cheaper there, and it's all organic and stuff like that. So if you have one near you, it's a great option, but if you don't, you can still do the vegan lifestyle just using whatever is available at your local grocery store. So in summer, I tend to eat a lot more fresh produce, things that are more like summer foods, like fresh fruit like mangoes, pineapple, stuff like that. We can get that stuff here and it's a lot cheaper in the summer, whereas in the winter I'll just stick to like oranges, apples, frozen berries. You can still get like really great greens during the winter here, so I will still include those, but generally throughout all seasons I will also include like some frozen veggies just because you can get them in bulk at say Costco and it's super affordable and you're still getting tons of nutrients from it and it's still super good for you. My next tip is to find your why. When you go vegan, there are tons of reasons that you are choosing to do so, whether that be for the environment, the animals, or it could be for your health. Whatever it may be, you want to have your concrete answer as to why you are doing this, because when you go vegan, you're gonna get lots of questions from other people as to why you're even considering this type of lifestyle. You're probably gonna even question yourself a lot just because you're like, why am I doing this? This is hard. It doesn't have to be that way for one, but if you have your why, it's gonna be so much easier to stick to the lifestyle because you have your motivator, you have that one reason or multiple reasons why you are doing this. I actually have an entire video explaining the reasons why I went vegan as a teenager, so if you are interested, I do have that up on my channel, and I'll also put it up in the little eye. Yeah, so if you need some like inspiration for your personal reason, you could check that video out. And also in the process of finding your why, you're gonna learn tons more about why other people go vegan, the reasons behind the lifestyle, the movement. You're gonna be so much more well educated, so then when people like family or friends or even strangers come up to you and ask you why you're vegan, why should anyone go vegan, you're actually going to be able to provide them with well thought out, thorough answers that could help them better understand it. My next tip is a super simple one, but it is just simply writing out grocery lists. When you go vegan, there's probably going to be a few new foods that you are introducing and just different foods that you need to start getting more of so that you can make sure you're meeting all of your nutritional requirements. So just writing out a list is a super easy way to make sure that you're getting all the stuff that you need, especially if you're, say, shopping more at like a health food store. You can make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed by all of the products that they're selling. And it's also a super great way to help you stick to a budget if that is something that you're doing. Writing out a list can definitely help you keep things at a lower cost if you need them to be that way. When you go vegan, you're going to be likely trying out a lot of new ingredients like tofu, tempeh, maybe you're eating more beans than you have before. just different ingredients. And something that is super helpful when going vegan is really experimenting and getting to know different spices. One of your favorite foods could have a certain spice mix in it, and when you add it to, say, tofu or just another plant-based option, you can get that same flavor that you would have from your non-vegan food, and you can still have it in your vegan food. So it's a super great way to just get yourself used to eating new ingredients, but still having the flavors that you're used to and really enjoy. And also, it's just a super great way to have more fun cooking. I think that a lot of people don't cook, and I genuinely think that cooking is such a fun thing to do. It's a great way to nourish your body, and it's just another form of self-care. And when I went vegan and I started cooking for myself, it was honestly the best thing I've ever done. Like, cooking is now such a enjoyable thing for me. So definitely experiment with spices and new ingredients and just explore the world of cooking. Next is to know that your body has to adjust. From my knowledge, there's two things that could happen when you go vegan. In my case, you could have pretty much no issues when you first go vegan. Your body just adapts immediately and you feel great, your digestion is great, everything is good. Or, and I know some people have definitely dealt with this, your digestion, because of the increase in fiber, gets a little bit weird. You might deal with some stomach pain because your body isn't used to intaking that amount of fiber, because a lot of the standard foods that people are eating are pretty low in fiber, and obviously plant foods are typically very high in fiber. So your body has to adapt to this, and if this is your case, if you do find that your body is having trouble adjusting to the vegan lifestyle, definitely make sure you're drinking enough water. And also, you could take a digestive enzyme or vegan probiotic, and that will definitely help your body handle and manage the fiber a lot better. And then eventually your body will just get used to it and you'll be completely fine. So this one is probably the most important tip, and that is to not just jump on all of these vegan trends. Throughout the years, the vegan lifestyle, the vegan movement has seen so many different things. We had the super high carb and super low fat. We had high fat, low carb. We had raw vegan, we have fruitarian, and probably many more that I'm forgetting. The important thing to think about when you're going vegan is to just focus on a balanced vegan lifestyle. Don't try to cut out super high fat foods or super high carb foods or whatever. Like, just don't cut out extra things, because you're just gonna have a harder time transitioning to the lifestyle. And also, when you go vegan, you're trying to learn a whole new way of getting nutrients. You're having to try new ingredients. You're having to do all of these things to make sure that you're still in good health and doing the lifestyle properly. Lots of protein, lots of carbs, good amount of fats. Just include a lot of variety and a lot of balance in your food. You're gonna do great. So the next tip is to still have your favorite meals, but just make them vegan. Nowadays, there is so many incredible vegan options. There's so many incredible vegan recipes for you to try. So you can literally make any non-vegan dish or non-vegan food vegan super easily. So if you want pizza, you can have a vegan pizza. Or if you want lasagna, you can make vegan lasagna. If you want sushi, there's that too. You can make vegan sushi. If your favorite snack is yogurt with fruit, you can still have yogurt with fruit, just swap it for a coconut yogurt. Next is a little reminder that you do not have to eat 100% healthy 100% of the time. There's such a common trend in the vegan community that, you know, these vegan influencers show their perfect what I eat in a days, where everything is grain-free, refined sugar-free, organic, paleo, keto, which isn't healthy. That's a whole nother video on itself. Don't do keto. But my point is that stuff is not necessary. A vegan lifestyle is completely fine just as it is. You don't have to make any other alterations unless you feel like you need to. Obviously, if you need to be gluten-free, or you need to be grain-free, or need to have a higher fat diet, you do you. Be healthy, whatever that means for you, but you don't have to do that if you don't need to or if you don't want to. With that being said, it is good to base your diet off of primarily whole foods. That is what I try to do, because I know that that is what makes my body feel the best. That's what gives me the most energy, and ultimately that is what's going to keep you successful on the lifestyle and ensure that you're getting everything that your body needs to thrive. Next is to make it a communal thing if you can. If you can find a friend that wants to go vegan, or a family member that also wants to go vegan, if you guys can do it together, that is going to be so great because you can lean on each other for support, hold each other accountable, and make sure that you are doing the best that you can. Obviously, I know that that is not always the case. When I went vegan, no one else was doing it. None of my friends, none of my family. They were all supportive, but none of them were doing it. So I was pretty much just doing this on my own. And if you are in a position where you are going vegan on your own, like what I did, a great way to just feel more supported and just include other people in your little vegan journey is to maybe cook a meal for your family or go to a vegan restaurant with your family or friends. As humans, there are a lot of traditions and family gatherings that we have every year that usually revolve around food. On Christmas and Thanksgiving, there's things like turkey and stuffing and, you know, all of these different foods that are not vegan. And in order to be successful on the lifestyle, especially when you're first transitioning and you're not used to not being included in those foods, is to prepare your own food ahead of time so that you still have something that you're excited to eat and you can always make a lot more so then other people can try it. It's just a really great way to continue doing what you're doing but not feel left out. And also, on a similar note, meal prep is a really great way to keep the vegan thing going. If you have a really busy work schedule or if you are a student in school, it's a really great way to just make sure that you're still getting all of your nutrients because you're planning it out ahead of time, and then it's just super easy. You can just grab it and go. And lastly is a little bonus tip that I am throwing in because I think that it is also important, and that is don't feel like you have to label yourself. Saying that you're vegan to people can kind of bring up a lot of extra controversy, questions, concerns even. So if you're not ready for that, definitely think of some alternative things to say, like, oh, I'm just trying to eat a little bit more plant-based, or I just found this really cool new vegan food and it caught my attention, so I wanted to give it a try. And also, it will just put less pressure on yourself because there's no reason for you to be like, I am vegan and I can never stray from it, because when you're first transitioning, you might end up going back and forth a few times because you've been eating, you know, a normal diet for your whole life. So it's important to not be super hard on yourself. Obviously, if it is something that you feel passionate about, then you're gonna want to make that change, but don't go too hard on yourself and just make it as enjoyable as possible. Hopefully these tips can help you make that happen. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some good information that maybe will help you on your vegan journey. And yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, you can give it a thumbs up, you can subscribe and tick the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video, and you can follow me on Instagram at genevieve.mason. Other than that, happy Soul Sunday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful break and setting yourself up for success for the new week, and I hope to see you in my next video.